Okay, super exciting day. I've just received the Boatworld Carbon Pro 365. I am going to get it inflated for the first time. We're going to take a look around it, see what the quality looks like, and yeah, hope you enjoy the video. One tip when you're getting a new boat: put something down on the ground just to protect the underside. When it's inflated, it's not such a problem because the keel and the tubes have a layer of protection. But when it's deflated like this, there's so much chance for scuffing the bottom of it. It's just worth that extra bit of care. And another tip, because they weigh a ton, make sure you have a look in the box first. Try and figure out which way it's been folded so that when you unroll it, you get it in the right direction the first time, so you're not having to drag it around. So this side's going to be the front, I think. Famous last words. Well, the first thing I've noticed is the change logo. Much better. And these things become much easier to work with if you just add a little bit of air first. So we'll get that started. Well, I have to say, the boat looks fantastic. And Boatworld really listened to the feedback. Their logo previously has been just one of the most talked about points with their boats. I mean, yeah, number one priority is for the boat to handle on the water, but as we know, it's got to look good too. And this new logo looks fantastic. So yeah, well done Boatworld. You get the thumbs up from me, that's for sure. So next step is to get the deck installed, but one of the tricks that I find quite useful is to fully inflate it first, let the boat stretch out a little, and then deflate it down low enough so that you can get the deck installed, and that just lets things stretch out and makes your life a lot easier when getting the deck in for the first time. And it will be the only time I install the deck as well, because once this is inflated, it will be staying inflated on the trailer. So yeah, let's get that done. I'll get it up to its full operational pressures and give it 10 minutes to stretch out. Quick note regarding these seats. Anyone eagle-eyed will know that these are the exact same seats that ship with the XL boats. They come from the same factory as far as I know. And these screws underneath are prone to coming loose. They're very short, sharp, and they will get wedged in between your tube. If you've got an air deck in particular, that happened with my Volante. These popped out, got wedged in between the tube and the deck, punctured. So unscrew these, a small bit of glue, tighten them back down again, and you're good. Okay, so it's the next day. You can see the boat is fully inflated. Now, yesterday I did record a full tutorial on how to install the deck, but I completely goofed and managed to record the whole thing with my 360 cam on single lens mode facing into my shed. So it's 15 minutes of me talking and you staring into a shed, so that footage just isn't useful. If I ever do come round to maybe installing some D-rings or have some other need to remove the deck, then I will do a tutorial on how to do that. But yeah, it's one of those things. The footage is unusable and it is what it is. So anyway, it did start pouring down yesterday. It was a miserable day. It's dry today, it's windy. Next door neighbours decided to trim their hedge, so I don't have long in between clips. So let's try and get this this video finished off, as I know a lot of you are really interested in what the finish quality is like on the boat. So let's focus on that. So probably the most noticeable change to this boat since the first version of the Carbon was released is the removal of the logo, and it was a terrible logo, as everyone has spoken about many times. And instead they've actually added this roller for an anchor here, so they've replaced what was just you know, something that added no value to something that does actually add some functionality to the boat. So yeah, big thumbs up for that. You can see we've got some extra protection on this side here, just to protect the PVC while you're pulling in your anchor line. Another thing they've done, which I actually really like, is they've replaced the plastic handle with a metal handle down here. And if you look, one of the advantages to this design is as you apply pressure here, it actually pushes against the boat, so there's just that little bit less stress on the patchwork. We've got some nice bow canopy tie-off points here. Something I don't like personally is the lack of any kind of clips here to hold your oars down. Now this actually happened to me while I borrowed a friend's carbon a while back to test on the water. Now the problem with not having clips here is that if you decide to transport this on the trailer, you've really got to strap these down with a set of ratchets or other tie-offs, or install some clips, or just remove them and install them on the inside, because as the trailer's bouncing around on our bumpy Isle of Man roads, these things, the oars, actually flew out and ended up sticking out across the pavement and across the road, and that could have easily have caused an accident. So if you're going to trailer one of these, either strap them down, take them off, or install your own third-party clips here. Another tip when installing these oars, they have a rivet on them, and they only have a rivet on one side. So place that rivet facing upwards, and that will help protect from rubbing along your tubes. I've seen some photos on a couple of Facebook pages where rivet side down along here, they've had scratches along the boat where the rivet has been rubbing against it. I was really pleased with the amount of protection that's been added along the floor of the boat. As you can see where those stringers are installed, there's additional protection installed where each of the joins are, and in addition to that, there's already a double layer of protection, which you can just about see through that gap there, which runs the full circumference of the floor. So in terms of the overall finish quality, I'm actually really happy with the boat. There's a few minor areas where there's a bit of extra glue that's been applied and kind of seeped out of the seams. Over here you'll see there's a bit of glue that's just been spilt and wasn't taken off at the factory. Again, not really a problem, it's just a bit of aesthetics. Over here on the transom is probably the only part of the boat that I'm not too happy with, but also, you know, I can equally live with too. There's some adhesive that's been spilt down here. It looks like they've almost applied a strip, realised it was too far over, and then pulled it off and reapplied it in the correct place. But like I said, it's not going to affect the functionality of the boat, and I'm not too fussed personally, as long as this thing performs on the water. There's a seal down here where this extra protection has been added, and you can see it's not quite sealed there, and some water has gotten inside if I push there. So I'll patch that up myself with a bit of sealant. There's some marks on the tube here where the factory have made their own markings during the manufacturing process. Again, these I would expect will just rub off with some soapy water, but again, not a big deal. There's some minor glue seepage along there. A very small bubble in a couple of these seals, but again, not a major problem. I do see a lot of value having these handles up front on a boat of this size, and larger boats too. Why they've got them on the rear, I'm not too sure. I think, at least from what I understand, most people tend to have transom wheels on their boat, so they tend not to need to have handles on the outside here on these smaller boats where one person can manage. And instead, I think what I would have preferred, like the XL Vanguard, is to actually have them on the inside of these sponsons here, because one at each side allows someone to be able to take the weight off of the transom wheels if you need to lift them or raise them or whatever. And again, just having the ability to get a good grip on the boat from the rear is incredibly useful when you're trying to lift it onto the trailer, or pull it off for a matter. So as you can see, the Isle of Man weather is turned, but the boat's assembled, it's almost ready to go. It just needs a set of transom wheels, and that's going to be my next video. I've got a set of the C-Max Deluxe 4x4. I have them on my Vanguard 365 as well, and I've been seriously impressed with the quality, and so I've bought another set to install on the Carbon. I hope this video has been of use to you. I know there's been a lot of excitement recently with the release of this boat, and I can't wait to test this particular model on the water. Please guys, if you would like to see more content like this, hit me a like and subscribe, and it will just help the channel and give me more incentive to continue making videos. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again.